Hi, and welcome back. I am doing a flip through of my Traveler's Notebook size planner that fits in this faux dory, if you will. It's like a Midori, but it's hardbound, and it holds my Traveler's Notebook size journal pieces. And what I like about this is it's actually all hardback, and then I added some nice hard corners so I can actually travel with this as well. And what I've done, I started last September. I put a new journal in every month, and so I have all my journals from September forward. I never had journaled before, and I started that last September. When I made this, I felt like I would be overwhelmed trying to journal in a big journal and feeling like I needed to fill it. But I can commit to journaling a few minutes every day, and I do it in the morning instead of in the evening. I actually use it to plan my day as opposed to finishing my day and using it like a diary. So I keep all my thoughts and plans and goals. And so real quickly, you have already seen the flip through of this. This is my January one. I did this one, I wanted lace, and I have a lot of strings hanging. And so this is already in my folio. But I have room for a second Traveler's Notebook. These are all held in by this really fine, stretchy elastic. So I have room for my planner that I will use throughout the year as well. And this way I can take it with me. So let's get to my planner. This is actually a very simple planner. If you saw my other video, you saw how I put together this cover. It is simply made out of some Tim Holtz cardstock. I used what I would call the back side of the cardstock to make this. I used some Edith Holden pieces. This and this down here are both from Nik the Booksmith. This one is a little quote that says, "To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe." And I really felt like this was a great thing to have for a full year. This has got a full year of planning in it. And so I just have it held closed with some seam binding that's been coffee dyed. I'm a coffee dye person, not a tea dye person. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I just like the coffee dyed. Maybe it's because I'm a coffee drinker, but I drink tea and coffee. The other thing is I mounted this on a piece of cardstock. I have a corner punch that does some fancy corner punching, and that was the other part to that. So we'll get right into it. Everything in here has been printed on coffee dyed paper, and I have also used the Nik the Booksmith Traveler's Notebook size planner, which I love, and you may have seen me use that in another one. I used it for my teacher planner, the not Traveler's Notebook size. So she makes it in two sizes, which is awesome. I will post below the link to her Etsy shop if you want to pick any of that stuff up. This is just the 2019 calendar at a glance, and I have a space for notes. A blank coffee page, but on the inside then I use these pages, and there are 4 of them. In the past I've cut these out. This time I chose to keep them as whole pages. I'm not sure how I'll use them. I'm not sure I would put a shopping list here if I was needing to take it with me. I usually do things, but these might just be places where I jot down ideas and notes throughout the year. So this one says, "What's the big idea?" This one says, "To do." This one says, "Shopping list." And this one said, "This made me happy." And then again on the back side, I have just the blank side, and I printed this all out on my coffee dyed paper. I have a little Edith Holden page in here. So I did this kind of sort of like a junk journal, but not totally. And then you'll see that each month I have January 2019, and I hand wrote the days in, but it looks like this when you put these together back to back. It didn't print out so that it was front to back lined up perfectly. I'm not sure that there's a way to fix that, so I just left it. I don't mind it. And this one says February, and then I have a piece. This is vintage French ephemera, And vintage French music, I had used the bottom half on something else, so I threw this in here. That's from Monahan's paper. I'll also post below the link to her Etsy shop if you would like to get some beautiful French ephemera, and I think she sells it for a great price. You get packs and bundles of stuff. So real quickly, and this is another piece also from her that I have. It's all in French. I studied French for 6 years, and now the only thing I can do is dream in it, but I can't tell you what the dream was about because I can't translate it anymore. I don't speak it. I imagine if I got dropped in the middle of Paris, I would manage to remember enough to get my way around, but I'm not sure I could do much more than that. So again, I just simply put these together. This is some crochet string that I got from my grandmother. My mother gave it to me. And you'll see these are all the same, which I love. So there's some consistency. It's not a lot of real different things for me to think about. There's that music again. November and then December. And this is the back side of that Edith Holden page. And then on these say goals, gratitude, brain dump, and meals to make. And I'll tell you, this one has been critical for me. I frequently will wake up in the middle of the night thinking about all the stuff I have to remember the next morning. And if I will do a brain dump, I can usually fall back to sleep, and that makes a big difference. Then in the back, plans and goals, I have not filled any of that in yet. So this is a blank slate, ready to start the new year. And I'm just going to add that to my folio here, and this will live in the back of this now for the rest of this year. What I love is at the end of the year, then I can simply take all this out and I will bind it all together. I have not quite figured out all of that. I have not quite figured out how I'm going to do all that yet. I'm thinking about making just a bigger folio than this where I can add them all. I may just do 6 months at a time. That might be easier. So I'll let you know. You can come back here and see it. So I hope you've enjoyed this. You can see the flip through of this as well as the flip through of this original when I made it originally. I have those also. I can link those down below. Check those out. And then this one is now in here. So I am ready to go for 2019. I hope you've enjoyed this flip through. I hope I have inspired you to be crafty today.